now. We have to get to less exciting measures as well, because we can't forget that a lot of people are doing it really tough right now, and we are in the middle of a cost of living crisis. There has been a bit of back and forth between the RBA and the Prime Minister this morning. I want to bring in Dai Le, independent member now. Dai, great to see you. Interest rates are on hold. RBA is saying the government spending is a little bit of a problem here. The government's saying, the PM and the Treasurer are saying, actually, no, it's not. What do you think here? Where's the truth?
Look, first of all, I just was listening to your Olympic comments. I think it's fantastic to be in Aussie today for all the, the gold medals that we've won there. So it's wonderful watching that and listening to that. But in terms of the RBA, the Reserve Bank, putting rates on hold, what I've read is that apparently it's because due to the government spending. Now, I'm no economist, but all I can tell you this, Laura, as usual, I have been door knocking a lot in my community. And I can only speak from what I get from the local, from the grassroots, from the ground here in Fowler, and I suppose it's very representative of Western Sydney. Certainly people are struggling. People are telling me, again, the costs, especially in terms of food, the cost of petrol, the cost of insurance, rent has increased. So these are the population, these are the people that are telling me that. I had held a forum yesterday on Wednesday for Bring Your Bill Day, which is providing support for those in my community that have got high energy bills, water bills, all of those bills. And they came, and we had over 200 people turning up.
200?
Over 200 turning up in one area with bills.
That they can't pay, Dai?
They can't pay. And so there were, I was very, grateful that there are government services there, such as Service Australia, New South Wales Service. We had E1, which is Energy Water Ombudsman. We had Sydney Water there to provide answers and support and help people know how to read their bills and to plan and get some kind of rebate if they qualify for it. And so for me, I think, government leaders, decision makers have to really understand what's happening at the grassroots level. So while there's at this higher level, people talking about, that there's not much spending by the government. I mean, that's only the government and the economists can actually have that conversation. But at the people level, people are struggling.
So Dai, sorry to interrupt here, because I know you've got limited time today. So I quickly just want to ask you this question. Of the 200 people turning up and the people really struggling in your electorate, are these people with jobs and they have a full-time job, or they have a job and they still can't pay their bills?
Look, some of them have got part-time jobs. Some of them, a lot of them are pensioners, older, pensioners, people on disability. But a lot of them have got, some form of a job. They attended with their parents, with somebody, or their loved ones to support them. So there's this whole range of people in the community. The area that I held that in was obviously quite low socioeconomic area. More probably higher people with needs. So I think that from my perspective, I don't know that $300 rebate that the government promised for people who've got high energy bills, that's a one-off. So therefore, from my perspective, government policies still have not addressed the long-term impact of cost of living crisis for families in Fowler, and I suppose across Western Sydney. Those who are affluent, I'm sure can, and there are a few of those homes who are retirees who own their own homes, said, look, we don't have to worry about rent, paying our mortgage because we've paid it off, but we're still struggling with groceries and we're trying to manage that. So that's the situation in my area.
Okay, just quickly, childcare, $3.6 billion apparently already budgeted for in the budget we spent on giving childcare workers a pay rise. Do you think this is a good idea? Look,
my belief is that the childcare industry, majority of the workers there are women, and, they have had, in terms of their pay has not been the top, a high pay. So I acknowledged we need to actually increase their pay, but Obviously, that's adding to the whole inflation, the current crisis with our economy. That said, people are still paying high childcare. In my community, when I door knock, people are saying they're still paying more for childcare. And that's because the cost of the supply chain, the cost of everything has gone up for a local childcare business. So that would be passed on eventually to the end users, which are the parents. So that is going to be a challenge for any government, any policies, because what will that mean for families who are leaving their kids at childcare? Because the idea is that to make childcare cheaper, but it's not. So therefore, how do we make sure that families can go to work? Because it's just this vicious cycle. So, yeah.
Yeah. Dai, always good to talk to you. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Laura.
Well, conversation.